The American West is a motherlode of legends and stories of friendship and courage. A romantic and exciting time to be remembered. Travel along with the old cowboy as he shares stories, poems, and music about the American West. Now, here he is, the old cowboy, J.C. Holsey.
Howdy, folks. I'm the old cowboy. I want to tell you about an event I attended recently. It was a writers' conference. Now, for those that don't know what that is, I wasn't completely sure myself. It's a meeting where experts, and I use that very carefully because I have a hard time with that word, because most experts don't know any more about things than my 7-year-old great-granddaughter. Anyway, I sat and listened as one expert on publishing told us all about it. Folks, let me tell you, the way that person explained publishing would make a sane person want to give up on ever seeing their book in print. Of course, whoever said authors were sane? This expert made it so hard. I won't go into all the steps that were explained that a writer has to go through to get their book published. But I will say this. I've been telling everybody from our very first show here on the Wild West Showdown that it ain't hard to get your work published. You can do it yourself. And listen to this, it does not cost anything. Let me repeat what I just said. It's not hard to get your work published. You can do it yourself, and it doesn't cost 1 red cent. Now let me say this. I do agree with some of the things that were presented, such as using a professional editor. That's a very important step that definitely needs to be followed. And your mama, or your aunt, or your best friend do not qualify as a professional editor. This expert also claimed that the author has very little input on the cover, has very little input on the editing, and most every aspect of the story the author has no input whatsoever. Let me say how I feel about that, folks. This story is your baby. The publisher is like a babysitter. Would you turn your baby over to someone to babysit without having any say in how that baby was to be treated? I know I wouldn't. What I'm asking you to do is do your research. Check out the small print, the fine print on anything that a publisher has to say. Don't sign with the first offer that you're presented just because you want to be published. Believe me, I understand how an author wants to see their name as the author on a book. It's a fantastic feeling when you hold that book in your hand, but please, please don't jump into something you don't completely understand. May the good Lord bless and keep you and yours in His loving hands. This is the old cowboy saying adios and happy trails.
Come on back next week with the old cowboy, J.C. Holsey.